Hello there. Yes, it's me again, me with another Greek tea with amazing health benefits. But seriously, this plant is truly amazing. In recent years, scientists have started studying cistus more closely, and the results are very interesting. So, can cistus really boost your mood, protect the brain, or even enhance your mitochondrial function? Or is it just a beautifully fragrant cup of herbal tea? Yes, this is cringe. You know what I will talk about. I just need to somehow start this shitty video. So let's go into it. What is cistus? Cistus, often called rock rose, is a Mediterranean shrub genus known for its fragrant, resinous leaves and delicate pink or even white flowers. These plants thrive on dry, sunny hillsides, and for centuries, people around the Mediterranean have used it for colds, wounds, and skincare. While I'm seeing my skin today, I should definitely need some cistus. Never mind. The only cistus I've personally tried is Cistus creticus, which grows wildly in Greece, though other species such as Cistus monspeliensis, Cistus parviflorus, Cistus salvifolius, and Cistus incanus also grow there, in Greece. And yes, there are other cistus species other than these that do not grow in Greece, and there are many of them, but you know, this is supposed to be about Greek herbs for some reason. I love Greece, so let's keep it Greek. Cistus plants are rich in polyphenols, especially flavonoids, tannins, and volatile oils. And that chemical complexity is what drew laboratory researchers to study cistus in general. Now let's move to benefits, what the science actually says. First of all, multiple studies show cistus extracts are rich in polyphenols, as I've already said, and have strong antioxidant and anti-inflammatory activity, which is, you know, the bedrock mechanism for many downstream benefits. But you know, inflammation is very vast, very universal, and so is the antioxidant mechanism. Let's take a closer look at the individual, more targeted mechanisms that are behind cistus. There's lab and animal work suggesting cistus essential oils and extracts can protect neurons, reduce markers linked to neurodegeneration, and even modulate mitochondrial function. One of the mechanisms that causes this is the aforementioned antioxidant activity. Many cistus essential oils or extracts show strong free radical scavenging, such as DPPH, ABTS, FRAP, and related antioxidant readouts in chemical assays. This biochemical antioxidant capacity is the first line of neuronal protection because, you know, it reduces oxidative damage to different membranes and proteins. Cistus has also anti-amyloid / anti-aggregation effects. Reviews of essential oils show that some of them, or their key chemical components, can protect neurons in lab experiments at least. They do this by reducing the toxic effects of amyloid beta, the protein that tends to clump into plaques in Alzheimer's disease. Do you remember Greek mountain tea? I hope you do. In cell studies, these oils often activate protective antioxidant pathways like NRF2 and HO1, lower the amount of aforementioned reactive oxygen species, and reduce apoptosis, meaning fewer brain cells die. However, for cistus, there's still very little direct evidence it can actually reduce amyloid plaques in vivo, you know, in living organisms. So while the anti-amyloid idea is biologically plausible, the strongest evidence for cistus so far comes from its antioxidant effects, cholinesterase inhibition, which helps preserve acetylcholine, a key neurotransmitter, SIRT1 activation, and mitochondrial support, and general cell protection. It all comes kind of together. We will go into this stuff later in the video. Now I want to say something about stress, skin, and human trial signal. Now, this is actually one of the few cases where Cistus isn't just backed by test tube data, but by real randomized human study. Hooray! A 2019 randomized control trial using a Cistus Incanus extract showed reduced neurogenic inflammation and stress signaling in the skin. In other words, the extract helped calm stress-related inflammation, not just in theory, but in living human tissue. Mechanistically, the researchers observed that Cistus blocked activation of NF-kappa B, one of the body's key inflammatory master switches. When NF-kappa B is turned down, pro-inflammatory cytokines like TNF-alpha, tumor necrosis factor alpha, and interleukin-6 also go down, which means less oxidative stress, less redness, and somehow better resilience to environmental or, whatever psychological stressors. This finding connects beautifully to the bigger picture. If you lower NF-kappa B and chronic inflammation in the skin, you're probably influencing the same stress-linked pathways systemically, including those involved in neuroinflammation and aging. Now, to be clear, we don't yet have direct central nervous system data. There is no trial showing Cistus reduces brain inflammation in humans. There is no such thing. But the cellular and skin model data give a strong mechanistic hint that Cistus can modulate stress-linked inflammatory pathways in human biology. And now, SIRT1 and longevity pathways. So, here's something really fascinating. Recent studies suggest that Cistus might activate one of the key longevity pathways in our cells, which is SIRT1. SIRT1 or sirtuin-1 is an NAD-dependent enzyme that acts like a metabolic switch. It senses energy status and triggers protective responses throughout the body. When it's activated, SIRT1 helps boost mitochondrial biogenesis through PGC1-alpha, increase cellular antioxidant defenses like SOD2 and catalase, then reduce different types of inflammation by deactivating NF-kappa B. I mentioned NF-kappa B in previous section on skin, or support DNA repair and stress resistance. There is no surprise that SIRT1 is highly expressed in energy-demanding tissues such as brain, muscles, liver, and skin, all of which benefit from higher mitochondrial efficiency. Now, here's another interesting part. A 2022 study by Lederham et al. Found that essential oils from Cistus species upregulated SIRT1 expression and mitochondrial activity in human skin cells, keratinocytes. Cells exposed to Cistus extracts showed increased SIRT1 both at the levels of mRNA, messenger RNA, and protein. Then the extracts led to higher levels of PGC1-alpha and TFAM, which are crucial markers of mitochondrial biogenesis, the process by which cells create new mitochondria. And finally, the treatment caused a reduction in cellular senescence, a state in which a cell permanently stops dividing itself, yet does not die. Senescent cells accumulate with age and contribute to tissue dysfunction, for example, amongst other nasty things. So lowering the senescence is generally considered beneficial for maintaining healthy cell function and maybe longevity as well. And because SIRT1 signaling also supports neuronal plasticity, memory, and neuroprotection, this mechanism could simply explain some of the plant's reported mental clarity and cognitive enhancing effects. The thing is, oils from Cistus laurifolius and Cistus monspeliensis strongly upregulated SIRT1 promoter activity and gene expression. In contrast, Cistus creticus oil showed no such induction of SIRT1 in these human cells. This suggests Cistus creticus compounds don't activate mammalian SIRT1 pathways as effectively as related species, but it does not imply that the plant is useless. We just need more data. And I mean more data. And now let's say something about antimicrobial and antifungal effects. Fungal? I don't know. One of the most fascinating and actually the best documented properties of Cistus is its broad-spectrum antimicrobial activity. You know, Cistus doesn't just smell nice. It's polyphenols, terpenes, and different resin acids that act as natural defenses against bacteria, fungi, and even certain viruses. In vitro studies have shown that Cistus species can disrupt bacterial membranes and inhibit microbial adhesion, which is how pathogens usually attach to mucosal surfaces. Well, and how is this possible? Mechanistically, these effects are attributed to lepidine-type diterpenes and flavonoids, which weaken and destabilize bacterial cell walls. Then polyphenols, which bind metal ions and block enzymes that bacteria need to survive. And last but not least, terpenes like mannonyl oxide. And this is a real trip because these terpenes interfere with bacterial communication, making it harder for colonies to, coordinate and cooperate. What's really interesting is that this activity might not be limited to topical or respiratory use. You can just drink the tea and it will work. At least the studies suggest that. There is also some early speculation that Cistus could support gut and mucosal immunity, logically by limiting bacterial overgrowth or protecting the mucosal barrier. However, we don't yet have strong human trials confirming this, so for now it remains mechanistically promising rather than proven clinically. And now, what are the effects of Cistus? What do I and others feel? Subjectively, Cistus feels mild, soft mental brightness, clear thinking, without any jitters, without stimulation on the level of your whole body, nor on the level of your nervous system or your heart. If I had to compare it to something, it's a bit like maca root, but milder and more mentally uplifting, not bodily uplifting, but mentally. And also without extreme horniness and the need to morbidly exercise and rape other people, which is very typical for maca. Don't expect caffeine level stimulation. It's a slow resilience type effect. Some people report improved mood or even easier sleep onset, so it is definitely not a stimulant. It is an intelligent plant that puts you wherever you are supposed to be. And that is what I like. And now, how to make Cistus? Well, it's actually very easy. There are two methods. One is brewing, other one is simmering. So let's start with simple brewing, but I don't mean brewing it like you brew beer, but I mean the way in which you brew herbal teas or pour herbal teas. Whatever, let's call it brewing. First of all, heat the water, bring filtered water to 80 to 90 degrees of Celsius, just below boiling. If you don't have any thermometer, let boiling water to cool down for, I don't know, 2 or 3 minutes. Then place 1 tablespoon of loose leaves in a cup or a teapot or whatever you have. Pour the hot water over it, then cover it and let it infuse for 8 to 10 minutes. This extracts antioxidant without bitterness. And then just strain loose leaves and that's it. Drink plain or with a touch of honey or lemon for the taste. Nothing difficult. And now simmering. Add 1 to 3 tablespoons of loose dried leaves to a small pot with water, and then cover it and bring it to a gentle simmer, and just don't boil it. Let it simmer for 5 minutes if you prefer a quick version, or up to approximately half an hour for stronger extraction of polyphenols. Pour through a fine strainer into a cup then, and enjoy it. Enjoy it hot or chilled if you prefer iced tea. Brewing multiple times isn't necessary with this approach, as it captures most benefits in one go, but you can certainly do it if you don't want to waste the taste, and there is certainly much more taste in it than just taste for one brew, so you can experiment with it. And now, where to buy it? I don't have anything special to say, just look for organic loose leaves or bags from reputable herbal suppliers, for example, those tested for pesticides or maybe tested for heavy metals and not using pesticides at all. But you can also buy wild ones that were hand-picked, and you can also hand-pick them for yourself, let's say in Greece. Cistus is generally considered safe and has a long tradition of use. Most concerns are just theoretical, allergies, I don't know, interactions with some other drugs or poor quality extracts, whatever. The thing is, you should use whole plant or standardized extracts from reputable suppliers, don't forget it. And also, if you are on strong immunosuppressants, anticoagulants, or taking other meds, you should better check with your physician if he is not, very stupid, as most of the physicians are. Doesn't matter. Polyphenol drug interactions are possible, so just check it with a reputable source, let's say. And also, if you are using typical tea doses used in studies or tradition, or using a standardized extract, just enjoy it and see what will happen. There is not really anything wrong you can do. Cistus isn't a miracle. It can't magically save your cells, but it's more than grandma's tea. It's an ancient herb with real polyphenolic firepower that shows antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, antimicrobial, and preliminary neuroprotective signals. If you're curious about gentle nootropics or plant resilience stacks, it's definitely worth a try. Yes, there are a lot of fantastic things that are not publicly known, not publicly used, and yet they are great. So try it! If you do try it, tell me how it makes you feel in the comments, and subscribe for, I don't know, if you want more of this bullshit at least. Yeah, let's say. Goodbye.